It's Wednesday, March 2nd. Super Tuesday has come and gone. We have the results from the primaries that were ran last night, and we see that Hillary Clinton has seven. She took 7 states last night. Donald Trump did well. He took six. He did not take Texas. He did not take Oklahoma. So those were two results that Ted Cruz needed, and he definitely needed to win his home state to stay alive and have an opportunity to make up delegates and kind of keep the race on that side, the Republican side, close. As it stands, Hillary 646 delegates ahead, 626 delegates ahead of Bernie Sanders, and Donald Trump is 90 delegates ahead of Ted Cruz. So this is where we are. Some of the takeaways. Hillary won in states that men, because we haven't had it's going to be tricky for me to speak with this next sentence, but I don't want to sound misogynistic and I don't want to sound like I'm speaking with a bias towards women. So I'll just not even tread on that. But she did very well in Virginia, uh, and some of the other states that she had her victories. I'll comment more so on the victories that Trump received, the states that he did win in. They're traditional Southern states. So we understand some of the mindset that some of the people may have in that part of the country. I'm interested to see as the primaries continue in the northern states and other portions of the country. And where, it isn't like it's gone away as you go up north, but there is a different set of thinking in different portions of the country. There are varying degrees of progression as it pertains to how people think, how they want the society to be, and the direction that we want it to go. So I will be interested to see if Donald Trump is able to win those states, how well and what the margin of victory or defeat will be between he and Ted Cruz. And I will be interested to see uh, the percentage of Hispanic voters that do vote Republican, who's voting for Cruz, who's voting for Trump. Uh, that will be interesting. We already see it has already been analyzed that Hillary is winning the African American vote by historic margins, in some places even more than President Barack Obama did. So in 2008, his first time. So it is showing that she's doing well. She's reaching the demographic and she's reaching the audience that her campaign has done an immaculate job of addressing and engaging and finding a way to continuously engage as they continue to go from state to state and campaign. So again, I'll talk about some of that later in some other videos. There has been a lot of interesting hyperbole and just language that people are interested in considering leaving the country. And I have a few friends on my timeline, and I follow people, I retweet. So there have been a lot of clapbacks in that regard to that sentiment. And unless you are in a position where you have zero debt and you do have a passport and you understand the culture and the currency, the language of the potential country that you would want to move to, it would not make a lot of sense to make the claims that if a result happens, you are implored to go move to another country when you are not experienced with international travel, international, water, international food. Again, the metric system. If I were to go somewhere European, I don't understand the metric system. I'm pretty sure that after a while I could learn it, I could begin to retain it and use it. But when I first get there, I'm not going to understand. I'm not going to get the kilograms. I'm not going to understand. It's going to be highly daunting just trying to get around and understand and just adapt. That culture shock, the same one that people get when they come here, come to America, the United States, is we would experience that in our own way. So just like there were people that were not happy when President Obama was elected in '08 and 2012, and they spoke with some spicy rhetoric. They were here and they stayed. And that's where some of the movements that came about, like the Tea Party movement, the Tea Partiers, you know, that was that was born from just the sentiment of that population of people that were dissatisfied and were not happy with the electing of President Barack Obama. So, you know, pump your brakes. That's pretty much what people are telling them. Just pump your brakes. There are many things we need to be focused on, and it's not uprooting going to another country. What I will say, and I'll keep this kind of quick, we definitely see that the Republican race it may be tighter than it initially looked like. It looked like Donald Trump was going to win every state. He had momentum. He's I'm going to call it, he's doing a call and response with the crowds at the rallies. The call and response from like gospel music, old Negro spirituals, that style where, there's a call, there's a call. So you sing that verse or you say that, and then there is a response from the crowd or the audience. And then the song or the exchange continues in that manner where there's a call and a response, a give and then it gives right back. So he's speaking about how well we are doing. He's using inclusive, majorative terms and statements to galvanize the rally, the people at the rally, and create a sense of, they're doing extremely well. We're polling this well, and we're taking this state, and we're going to make America great. And then if you're in an environment or a crowd of people, and you all share a sentiment, and let's say the crowds at these rallies share a sentiment that they feel America has lost its way. This is what they feel, and they feel that it takes someone that has not been uh, seduced by the culture on Capitol Hill and politics and what it takes to get things done in the bureaucracy and that process. So they're seduced by someone that presents themselves that says, "Hey, I'm not like that. Let's do things differently." If you have a room of people, a crowd of people, and they have a sentiment that they share, a common sentiment, and if you have someone that is charismatic enough, a speaker that is charismatic enough to use inclusive and majorative terms to convince a crowd that yes, this is true. Yes, someone else shares my sentiment. There are more of us to validate. If I'm sitting somewhere and I think there's only one of me, and I think that I'm the only person who likes to drink bottled water, but then I hear someone that is credible to me, that is charismatic enough to me, that suggests, hey, you know, we just bought a warehouse and there are 3,000 cases of bottled water that we have to find a way to supply because there's so many people that want this bottled water. And I'm thinking, well, I like bottled water, and I like this individual. I connect with this individual, this charismatic speaker. To me, he's charismatic, so I'm going to believe because he's telling me, without the benefit or the duty of critical thinking and researching and actually trying to find it out for myself. I'm more comfortable letting him tell me what the truth is. And I think that is the common thread in many of the Trump rallies. There are people that have a mindset and they have their belief, and they are comforted and empowered and they are galvanized by the charismatic and effective nature of the use of inclusive and majorative terms to describe victories and describe progress that the Trump campaign is making, especially when you're looking at exit polls from Super Tuesday and he's connecting with the uneducated. This is not to be mistaken with someone that is stupid or someone that is retarded, mental retardation. I'm not speaking about how it's been misused, that term, by many people in an offensive manner. I'm just speaking about, people that possess the delayed development of cognitive and mental and brain development, and they are labeled as retarded. I'm speaking about when you're saying uneducated, it could be people that have just, maybe they didn't have a high school diploma. They don't have a high school education. They may not be college educated. They may not understand politics. They don't understand economics. They don't understand the GDP. They don't understand the esoteric nuances that are being slung around in this campaign by very, very smart individuals. So you have someone that needs to be told and needs to be validated. They need to be comforted. So that's what Donald Trump is doing. So, the outrage and the exasperation that, I kind of pick up and I'm seeing, I mean, I definitely understand, but they are comforted by that. So it isn't that it's an indictment on, what's going on and oh my goodness, I gotta leave the country. No, we need to be having our charismatic speakers, whether you're a conservative Republican or you're not as extreme as Donald Trump, if you are a Democrat, if you're a liberal, if you are a leaning to the left, if you're undecided, running away is not going to solve anything. If what we've seen works, then you organize grassroots developments, attack how the Senate is going to be addressed, attack how the House of Representatives is going to be set up, understand politics at your local level. These are things that we need to understand and do and enact. We can't ignore it anymore. So that's basically my takeaway. Interesting results. Right now, Hillary still has a substantial lead. Donald Trump has a narrow lead right now in terms of delegate count. Uh, Ted Cruz has a good opportunity to make up ground in some other states, especially if Donald Trump continues to speak with the rhetoric that he spoke with. It might resonate in one part of the country, it may not resonate with another part of the country. So it'll be interesting to keep our eye on that. Um, One note that I want to kind of make. Um, the protesters and the people that are going to these Trump rallies, you're not you're walking into a hostile environment. If you are if it's easy for them to identify that you are not a Trump supporter, or if they identify that you're not a Trump supporter, whether it's by your aesthetic, signage, or even any perceived demonstration that may or may not have happened, I would just like to implore to these individuals, you have your right. You may not be a protester. You may have been someone that was trying to learn and understand what the candidate was actually speaking about from the candidate himself. I would encourage you to arrive in larger numbers, and I would encourage you to try to bring as much attention with you as you can, because the campaign will present facts their way. If you have to have contact the local news outlets and the local stations, and you're saying we're organizing a trip to this rally because we are not protesting, we are actually trying to learn about the candidate. For those that are doing that, then I suggest you do that. You need as many eyes in the sky, big brother around, capturing and documenting everything, because right now the misconstruing of the truth is alarming. And if you are a protester, and if you are going there to protest and exercise your right, your First Amendment right, then I would just implore you to exercise, caution, exercise intelligence, protest smartly with a purpose, be effective. Um, because right now you see that the environment is not safe and it's not, you know, conducive to true protest and an expression and exchange of ideas. So just please be safe, please be careful, and please understand that we may see Donald Trump as a clown. For those who are not a supporter and those who just do not appreciate the misogynistic, racist, you know things that he has been presenting on his platform, we may not agree with it, but the supporters are not in the political eye. The supporters are not surrounded by Secret Service or security. The supporters don't have a wall of affluenza surrounding them. So they're acting at their own discretion. So I would just implore you to keep that in mind. If you have opinions, if you want to talk, present another argument, respond, I welcome you to do so. And I will talk to you guys later.